Hey everybody, it's Cole. I'm back with another MTG Mondays. This one is going to be about it's a deck tech on an EDH I've been working on for a little while now. I'm pretty comfortable with it, and it's moved along quite well. The general for the deck is Karn Silver Golem. I got from the Vault Edition one for it, so he's an awesome general for a colorless general. 5 for 4/4. Whenever he blocks or becomes blocked, he gets -4/+4, so it becomes a 0/8. And then for 1 colorless, target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness equal to its converted mana cost till the end of turn. So he's pretty powerful. I'm enjoying it. So first I'm gonna start with the boring stuff, the lands. Now for a colorless general, you can't actually have lands that have any kind of mana symbol other than colorless mana symbol in the text box at all. So I'm going to start with the most important ones is the Urza set, the Urza's Power Plant, Urza's Tower, and Urza's Mine. With all three of them out, it adds a heck of a lot of mana to use, and a lot of mana in this deck can go very well, which you'll find out later. Next is some ones that add more than one, usually will add more than one mana, colorless mana. Scorched Ruins, when it comes into play, you sack two lands, untapped lands, or sack this, and then you can tap it to add 4 colorless. I really like this card. Temple of the False God, tap to add 2 colorless to your mana pool, play this ability only if you have 5 or more lands. Cloudpost, paired up with Glimmerpost. They're not the best things in here, but with both of them out, this will add 2 at the most, so it's still pretty good. Glimmerpost is better than Cloudpost in my opinion, just because it comes out untapped and I gain a life. So next is Crystal Vein, where I can tap, sack it, and add 2 colorless. Now the next ones are just a bunch of boring ones, but some of them do things. We have Darksteel Citadel for an artifact count. Archaeological Dig just adds colorless. Shimmering Grotto just adds colorless. Gargoyle Castle can give me another artifact count just by paying 5 and sacking this. Reliquary Tower, no maximum hand size, plus 1 colorless. Tower of the Magistrate, when I have Microsynth Lattice out, I can give one of my creatures protection from an artifact my opponent controls. Mystifying Maze holds off some attacks. Gemstone Caverns just adds a colorless. Dust Bowl, I can destroy some lands, non-basic lands. Urza's Factory gives me a little artifact count every time I make a little guy. Dread Statuary also counts as an artifact when I turn it into one. Grixis Panorama, just because it's foil. Tectonic Edge. Rath's Edge deals 1 damage by tapping 4 and sacking it, or sacking a land. Desert deals 1 damage to attacking creatures and adds colorless. Zoetic Caverns is kind of neat. It's a morph land, so that's kind of cool. If you don't need lands, turn it into a creature. Grand Coliseum is kind of boring. God's Eye to the Reikai is really neat. It combos with like Dust Bowl and stuff like that, to where if you sack a land to do something cool, you get a little 1/1 spirit from this. So let's see. Blinkmoth Well, to tap non-creature artifacts. Sheltered Valley, just if I have 3 or fewer lands, I gain a life. Scrying Sheets and Mouth of Ronom kind of combo together. I really wouldn't ever use Scrying Sheets because I don't have any other snow cards in here. But Mouth of Ronom, I can sack it to deal 4 damage to something, to a creature. So that's pretty cool. Hall of the Bandit Lord, I'm partial on this one. I like it just because it does give a creature haste that I play with it, but Untaidake is just to play a Karn. I can tap it to add 2 colorless, and I have to pay 2 life. Ghost Town resists Stone Rain and stuff like that. Quicksand, just a -2/-1 to attacking creature, I believe. Yeah, to attacking creature. Blasted Landscape has cycling. Winding Caverns, it's kind of neat. I can play creatures in my hand as though they had flash. And Stalking Stones also ups my artifact. Nope, yeah, artifact count when I pay 6. So that's my lands. I think I have 30-something, 34, I think. Next is a little more exciting, the creatures. I'm playing a Masticore, a Triskelion, Platinum Angel, Arcbound Reclaimer, Voltaic Construct, Sundering Titan, amazing card in this deck. In this deck. Minus Automaton, Copper Gnomes, Lodestone Mirror, Scarecrow, Cthulhu Forgemaster, also awesome in this deck, and Darksteel Juggernaut, just because he gets gigantic. I wish he had Trample, though. So those are creatures I'm playing. There's also some combos set up with a couple of them that I set out here, and I'll go over them when I get to the combos. Next is the kind of win conditions, I guess, or things that help me win fast. It would be stuff like Microsynth Lattice. If I get this out, it combos with Karn extremely well, because Karn this turns everything to artifacts, then Karn you can pay 1 to make their land into a 0/0 creature and kills it. So then it basically leaves them with no land. So these two together are pretty powerful. This also combos with a lot of other cards in this deck. A lot of other cards. Darksteel Reactor for the really, really, really slow wins. Jester's Cap, it combos with Rings of Brighthearth in here, which I'll get to in a while. But if I have enough mana and I can use it enough with Rings of Brighthearth, I can deck somebody. So next is some equipments. I'm running Tatsu Mesa, the Dragon Fang, Loxodon Warhammer, and a Skull Clamp. I also have a World Slayer, but I put that in the global kill everything stuff. Next is the drawing cards, the drawing power. This drawing power is extremely needed for this deck. Without it, I don't know what I would do. It'd just be too slow. So I have a Howling Mine, and Howling Mine combos a little bit with Lodestone Mirror, because I can make it so my opponent doesn't get that extra card by tapping it at the end of my turn with Lodestone Mirror, Icy Manipulator, and a couple other things. Next is Farsight Mask. It's 5 to play it, and whenever I get hit and this is untapped, I can draw a card whenever I'm dealt any kind of damage from an opponent. The cool thing about it is I can turn it into a 5/5 creature too with Karn. Anvil of Bogarden, it's kind of neat. It also it combos pretty well with Library of Lang, because instead of me having to discard that extra card, it's basically like looking at the top 2, putting one in my hand, putting one back on top, so that's kind of neat. Sensei's Divining Top, Serum Tank, Temple Bell, and Tower of Fortunes. I love Tower of Fortunes because I can use it with Rings of Brighthearth. Rings of Brighthearth combos with a lot of cards in here. It's pretty much this all-star of this deck. Neverill's Disc, awesome card, especially when you put something on it, like put a Divinity counter on it with that which was taken, or like Darksteel Forge or something like that. You know, you sit there and go, oh, you're playing something, it's dead. Oh, you're playing something, it's dead. It's pretty fun. World Slayer just kills everything and ever except for this card, even lands. People hate this card. Lux Cannon is not really a board sweeper, but it does take care of the good threats that I need to take care of, like Planeswalkers and stuff. I have enough untapping stuff in here that I just go tap, 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 dead. So, Ratchet Bomb, situational, but it still helps. And Oblivion Stone. This card's awesome. Excuse me. Next is the mana adders, the things that help me play stuff fast and whatnot. And also, I can get infinite mana with this too. A few of them. So I'm going to set them out real fast here. Okay. Now the ones I can get infinite mana with the Voltaic Construct and Karn, are Dreamstone Hedron. It's anything that adds 3 or more colorless mana, because you have to use one of your lands to turn one of these into a creature with Karn. Then you tap it to add 3 mana, use 2 of it to untap it, tap it to add 3 more, use 2 of it, and you're always going to net 1. So things that can do that are Dreamstone Hedron, Mana Vault, and Thran Dynamo. Those are the 3 that I have in here that can do that. Another one is the oh, it's not coming to me. Basalt Monolith, I believe, or the Grim Monolith, one of those two, or both. The Monoliths, you can do this also. Another big mana addition in this, paired up with Microsynth Lattice, is the Blinkmoth Well. Yes, it does give it to your opponent, but also, if you have Lodestone Mirror on the field, end of your turn, tap it, your opponent don't get it. So, this can also be just very one-sided with this guy. Golem's Eye, it's like Sisay's Ring, which I also have in here. 4 to add 2 colorless, it's not bad. So yeah, play Sisay's Ring also. Mindstone can help me draw a card in a pinch. Kyran Toy, I really like this. It's like a storage land, but it gets one better. And a Sol Ring. And the next two things are things that just make things cheaper. Helm of Awakening makes everybody's stuff cheaper, and Semblance Anvil makes all my artifact stuff cheaper. If I put it on an artifact creatures are 2 less, and if I put it on artifacts, like a Semblance Anvil or like a Helm of Awakening or something, my artifacts are 2 less, and my artifact creatures are 1 less. I mean, yeah. Next is some lockdown things that I have. Some of them acquire a combo, but not very many. Like Portcullis, I don't know how to say that. It means like gate or whatever. But whenever a creature were to come into play, if there are 2 or more creatures in play, set that creature aside or exile it. If Portcullis leaves play, put that creature back into play. So it's like a reoccurring Oblivion Ring, kind of, in a way. That if there's 2 or more creatures in play while you have this on the field, and somebody tries to play something, it gets exiled, and then when this leaves, they come back, I guess. Next is a little combo that I have with Bottled Cloister and Ensnaring Bridge. Now, Bottled Cloister costs 4, and at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, I remove my hand face down from the game. At the beginning of my upkeep, I return all cards removed from the game with this from my hand, and I also draw a card, so it'll net me 1 card. And with Ensnaring Bridge, creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can't attack. So it means my opponent can never attack, but I can attack for however many cards that I have in my hand, which is pretty cool. Next is Storage Matrix. It really, really, really can lock people down. For me, it's not so much of a problem because I have, if I don't have Lodestone Mirror, I have a lot of mana adding artifacts and stuff, so I really don't need my land, so I can just choose artifact and then type out my artifacts. So this really helps a lot. But with Lodestone Mirror, I can tap it at the end of my turn, and my opponent, or at the end of my opponent's turn, and then I don't have to untap only one thing. And then at the end of my turn, untap it with like Voltaic Key or something like that, and then my opponent would have to choose. It's kind of a hard combo to do, but it's not too terrible. Next is Crawl Space. It's just no more than 2 creatures can attack you each combat, which is pretty cool. Defense Grid works really well in this deck because I have no instants or sorceries. I do have one thing with Flash, but I hardly ever play it like that. During each player's turn, each other player's spell costs 3 more to play, so if they try to counter my stuff, it costs, like Mana Leak costs 5. Who wants to pay 5 for a Mana Leak? Next is Kill Switch. This paired up with Microsynth Lattice, another combo with this card. Use it on my turn. All my opponent's stuff is locked down for their turn. Doesn't untap. My turn comes along, this untaps, and all my stuff untaps. So, very good combo. Next is some stuff that kind of combos with Rings of Brighthearth a lot, and that's all of these cards. But so there's Rings of Brighthearth. This card is just amazing. Whenever you play an activated ability, if it isn't a mana ability, pay 2. If you do, copy that ability and choose new targets for the copy. So stuff like Icy Manipulator, Mimic Vat, Voltaic Key, Snake Basket, Soul Foundry, Galvanic Key. That which was taken is a really good one to use with that. Temporal Aperture. It's like a Mind's Desire on a stick, or on an artifact. Planar Portal, a nice little tutor card. Prototype Portal, and Mourner's Shield for a lot of protection. I really like this card. I've been debating on whether I want to take it out or not, but when I'm facing actual like 2-color decks, or even mono-color decks, they play, like in a 2-color deck, they play their multicolored spell. When I play this, I'll remove the multicolored spell, and with Rings of Brighthearth, I can prevent quite a bit of damage. So I don't know. I just don't know if I'd ever take it out, just because of how much stuff that can prevent me, especially when I have infinite mana with this guy and whatnot. The real sleeper card that I found in here that was really, really good was Scarecrow. This one really, really, really surprised me, just because it helps me bring back, hopping them, automaton, or whatever. The guy that makes me draw cards, jeez. Oh, Mindless Automaton. This guy. It'll bring it back for the same amount that it costs, so basically I can pay 4 to draw 2. That's, it's good. I like it. And it also combos with Rings of Brighthearth. I can pay 4, tap it, get 2 creatures, or 6, tap it, get 2 creatures. So, it also works well with the Catholda Forge Master. That's pretty much the whole entire deck. Like I said, the main idea for it is to try to get out Microsynth Lattice as fast as you can, or get Karn and your infinite mana and play stuff that that cost stupid, ridiculous amounts. Jester's Cap stuff. That's pretty much the main thing of the deck. So, guys, tell me what you think. I'm going to be going over another deck that I'm also working on later. I don't think I have it set out right now. I did. But I'm also working on an Omnath EDH. I was sent an Omnath from a friend on here, and the agreement was to make an Omnath EDH. So I started to, and it's actually turned out pretty well. I've got a bunch of really, really good cards for it. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, subscribe, rate, or like, I guess now, and comment. And I also got to say that I'm also kind of sad that 5 people didn't enter the contest that I put up, so there aren't going to be any prizes given away. Thanks for the people that did enter it. I really appreciate that you did enter it, but with the amount of people that entered, I don't have enough people to judge on their work. You know what I mean? It's just like saying if they're giving away a car and they don't have a limit on how many people have to enter, and 2 people enter, one of those 2 people are going to get the car. Even if they had to do something for it, like write an essay and they only wrote hi on it, But the people that did enter, their work is very good, and I still might send them something just for participating. But if I do, I will contact you, and you'll have to send me your address and whatnot. But if I do, I'll let you know. But again, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.